The pace at which the CCP-led People's Republic of China's military has grown over the last few years, it has been shocking. I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know in that front. They have outpaced our shipbuilding capacity by a great magnitude, and while I certainly believe our ships are more technologically advanced, quantity often becomes a quality of its own. I know that there are DoD programs such as the Replicator and Hellscape aimed at addressing the relatively numerical advantages competitors may have in regions such as the Indo-Pacific. However, this does not mean we should not fight to fix our industrial base issues, specifically in shipbuilding and submarine building. Ranking Member Courtney, thank you for providing your empirical data about the submarine industrial base to committee members. It's great to hear that General Dynamics Electric Boat hired more than 5,000 new workers in fiscal year 23 and is on track to exceed 5,000 this year. I'm also pleased to see they have increased their yearly production to 1.4 boats, up from 1.2, although that's still not good enough. We must do more across the entire industrial base to provide the right number of ships, planes, missiles, and munitions to establish credible deterrence against hostile competitors. This really boils down to what Chairman Mike Rogers said yesterday in the Army budget hearing. We capped defense spending at 1% in the FRA, forcing the DoD to make cuts. This cap is why the Navy chose to only ask for one Virginia-class sub this year and why the Air Force asked for fewer F-35s. The DoD is faced with tough choices and is robbing Peter to pay Paul as they attempt to modernize, maintain readiness, improve quality of life on a 1% defense budget increase. With that, I move into my questions. First, for Mr. Girton. According to the Navy's website, at the end of World War II, we had more than 800 surface warships and more than 200 submarines. During President Reagan's term, we had over 220 surface vessels, over 100 subs, and close to 600 ships across the total Navy. This is at the height of the Cold War when the U.S. had only one power to deter. The FY25 President's budget asked for funds to field a fleet of 113 surface combatant ships, 12 aircraft carriers, and 67 submarines. Mr. Girton, is 293 total ships enough to meet all the demands of the Navy at a time when we must deter now two great powers and keep sea lanes open while under attacks from terrorists such as the Houthis in the Red Sea?
Thank you for the question. I'll defer to my uniformed colleagues here about whether or not it's enough ships, but I suspect they'll say no. Certainly the combatant commanders have been asking us for resources, and we deliver them as much as we can. Getting back to your point about the number of ships that we had, say, during the Reagan era, we also had many more shipyards, both public and private. And that's one of the problems that we face together, Congress and government, about getting the laydown of capacity that we need to have a strong military in the field, and especially ships at sea. One of the reasons I'm particularly interested in more fully exploring the maritime statescraft strategy to increase the nation's capacity for building ships in general, so that I can be in a better position to provide the military with the men of war that we're going to need to do the nation's work. So, General or Admiral, do you have any other points to make on that?
Admiral?
Sir, thank you. The other point I would make is our most recent Battle Force Ship Assessment and Requirement Report clearly states that we need 381 ships. So the answer to the question is no, we don't have enough at 291. And that assessment was based on the defense planning scenarios from our defense planning guidance, and it aligns to the National Defense Strategy.
If you did have the funding, I assume you would ask for two Virginia-class attack subs in FY25?
Yes, sir. I believe that we would take the two Virginia-class submarines. As we were building the budget, we thought it was more important to spend most of our money on the submarine industrial base so that we ultimately achieve 1+2 production, and then 1+2.33 production to support both our requirements and our AUKUS commitments.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. I yield back.
I now recognize